Hi, welcome to EDUC 115, Child Development. I'm Alexis Myers and I am your instructor. I am an early childhood education faculty member here at Skagit Valley College. I've been teaching here for about a year and I love it a lot. And some of you have had classes with me before, some of you have not. Either way, I'm really excited that you're here. I am here because I have a bachelor's degree in human development and a master's degree in infant and parent development. So I spent a lot of my 20s studying development, how people grow and become who they are. So one of the key concepts in this course will be, what is development? Development is different than learning in that it's something that unfolds naturally, just as a result of being human. So there's certain processes that happen in our bodies and in our minds that kind of are predestined, planned to happen. The environment that we're in and the experiences that we have shape that, but there's certain things that are just going to happen regardless of the environment that we're in. So one really good example of that is walking. So not 100% of human beings walk in their life, but most human beings do learn to walk. And that's true no matter where you live, no matter what kind of shoes you have, no matter what food you eat, no matter what language you speak, you're gonna learn to walk. That's development. Our propensity to do that, to learn how to do that, is an example of development. Now, development, even though it happens outside of our control, it's something that just naturally happens because we're human. There are things that we can do that can affect it. For example, I said regardless of the food you eat, you learn to walk. Now, if you as an infant are really malnourished, undernourished, it's possible that your body might not get the nutrients it needs to have the energy to learn how to walk or to develop the muscle mass necessary to walk. So that's an example that even if the infant was born with that drive to eventually learn to walk, if they weren't getting sufficient nutrition, they might not ever learn to walk. So in this course, we're going to be looking at that a lot. What is this thing that's going to happen naturally in kids that they have the internal drive and motivation to just do? And how does the input that they're receiving from their environment affect that? So one saying, one expression that exists is the question of, is it nature or nurture that causes something to happen? So back in the day, people really liked to debate, is it nature that makes people who they are? Are we just born to be who we are and then we have no control over that? Or is it nurture? Is it the experiences that we have who make us become who we become? And so I say that back in the day, people used to debate that because they don't do that anymore. They don't debate it anymore because now we know without a shadow of a doubt that it is nature and nurture. That we are born with different propensities and different abilities, and the environment that we're in can shape that. Either both for positive and negative, right? It can enhance our potential, and some environments and some experiences actually weaken our potential. So that's what this course is about, and I am super excited to share this topic with you guys. Okay, so that's me. So the class content is we're going to cover ages, really prenatal. We're going to spend one module talking about pregnancy and the development that's happening that's happening to the embryo and the fetus when it's inside the mother's womb. So one thing I'll say right away is we cannot cover everything that I want to cover. So for example, we're going to talk about language development, motor, physical development, cognitive development, so like brain development and thinking development and learning. And we're also going to talk about social emotional development. So how we develop as social emotional creatures, creatures who want to connect with others, who have deep feelings. And so we're going to cover those 4 domains, and we're going to cover prenatal, infancy, so like birth to age 2, ages 3 to 5, the preschool years. We're going to cover ages 6 to 8, so like childhood, and then 8 to 11, early adolescence. So we're going to cover 4 types of development in 5 different age groups. So it's too much. So we're going to miss stuff. So for example, during the pregnancy module, we will not get into motor development as much as I would like to, right? Because we could spend a whole course learning about prenatal development. So that being said, I have decided where to focus our energy at different times. But if you have any specific questions or things you'd like me to focus on, go ahead and tell me that. Email me or make a comment in one of the discussion boards. And I will try to adapt what I'm doing to make sure your questions are answered, even if it's just an email directly to you about answering those questions, because we can't cover it all. Okay, so the next thing I want to say is we have this kind of book. So this is a non-traditional textbook. So I spend a lot of time in the first introduction video to the first module talking about this. But I just want to say this is my first quarter using this book. So when you're done or partway through the course, go ahead and give me your feedback. Did you like this because it's kind of more interesting than a textbook, or was it too confusing? Would you have preferred to have a regular textbook? So let me know that. Okay, so the bulk of the course. So for this course, let me say right now, this is a 5-credit online course. So if this course was a face-to-face in-seat course, we would be spending 5 hours a week together, plus you would be doing homework. Okay, so say you do your 5-credit class, you do like, I don't know, 6 hours of homework a week for your 5-credit class. You're going to need to take that 6 hours of homework that you would normally do for a 5-credit class and then add 5 more hours of homework on top of it, right? Because we're not meeting in class together. So whatever I would have told you in class, whatever activities we would have done in class together for you to learn this stuff, you have to do that work on your own at home. So this course is going to feel like a lot. You're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is such a lot of work for 5 credits. But just please bear that in mind, that this is a 5-credit course and you have to do it all at home. So my best advice to you is to take, I would say 5 to 8 hours a week and block it out on your schedule. So if this was face-to-face, we'd probably meet Monday and Wednesday nights from 6 to 8:30. Okay, so I think you should block out on your calendar Monday and Wednesday nights from 6 to 8:30 to work on this. Now, if you have kids like I do, so I'm recording this at 9:36 p.m. on a Sunday night because I spent the day with my kids. So if you have kids and you know they go to bed at 8, maybe you work from 8 to 10:30 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays on this course. But please block out at least 5, but up to 8 hours on your schedule that you're going to devote to this course. Because if you don't do that, you're not going to be successful. I've given you a lot of work to do in this course. Because it takes that much work to meet these course outcomes and to have you really walk away with knowledge about child development. So you have to make the time for it. So I would block that time out on your schedule and just treat it like, oh, I have to be in class. Because if you were taking a face-to-face course, that's how much time you'd have to spend. Okay, so there's kind of 4 activities you're going to do in this class. One is you're going to read every week. And in my classes, when I have students read, I have them write reading reflections. 1, because it keeps you accountable and makes sure that you're reading. And 2, when you read information, if you have to then think about it and write about it later, you're more likely to retain that information. So it's a tool for me to help you have to do that. So I go into depth in the modules talking about how to do those reading reflections, but just make time. There's reading that you'll have to do every week from this text, and then also I'm going to supplement it with other like articles and things online. Okay, so you're going to read. There's going to be discussion boards or other small assignments, and that'll be like, watch this video, think about this, apply this in your own life, something. And the directions will always be online for how to do that. So you can expect about 2 of those a week. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to do 3 observations of children. So we're going to talk a lot about kids in this class, and the best way for you to learn the information that we're talking about is for you to go out and actually observe it in actual children. So I've written, if you go to the module page, which I'll talk about in a minute, it lists the different observations. Now you'll notice that there's 4 different observation assignments. A baby, a preschooler, a young school-age child, and then an early adolescent. But you only have to do 3 of them, okay? So one, that's 4 would be a lot, would be too much. I'm also worried that some of you might not know children of all of these age groups, because it's really on you to find a child to observe. So I've given you one that you can skip, because then if you don't know a baby, then we can just skip that one. I'm hoping that you know enough children of different ages that you can do these observations. If not, then just let me know as soon as possible. If those of you that have children between the ages of 0 and 8 would be open to having your classmates observe them, that would be so helpful. Please email me and let me know if you have that. If any of you, I have kids, but they're up in Bellingham, that you'd be welcome to observe my kid. I have preschool age kids. Okay, what else do I want to say? Oh, and the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to write a paper. So some of you have taken multiple college classes, you've written papers for other classes, it's going to be no big deal. Some of you, this is your first college course where you're expected to write a paper. And so that's going to be intimidating for some of you. But I'm going to help you through it. So what we're going to do for the paper is that each week you're going to have an assignment that is going to help you work toward writing that paper. So right away the first week, I want you to come up with 3 questions you have about child development from the spectrum of birth to age 11. There's got to be something. Oh, I notice kids always do this. Why do they do this? Oh, I had this really difficult time potty training one of my children, but the other child potty trained really easily. Why? Why is it that babies don't want to sleep through the night or want to be, are awake during the night and want to sleep during the day? I don't know. So you'll have something. Why do 3-year-olds, are they so stubborn, for example? So you're going to come up with 3 things that you're curious about. How do you help an 8-year-old make friends if they're not good at it? So something that you're curious about. And then I'm going to help you do your research, apply the different theories we're talking about, and eventually write a paper. So those are the 4 things. So you're going to be busy. So you need to read every week. You need to participate in discussion boards with your classmates. You need to be working toward writing a paper, and you need to plan to do some observations. So this is a big class. Okay, so let me tell you how my classes work. And this is how all my classes work. So those of you who've had me before can kind of tune out on this part, but there will be, on this side of the screen, there will be a list of a menu. The best way to navigate through this course is by clicking on modules. So there will be a module for each week, and the module will list everything you need to do. So once you get on that module page, you can just start working down the course, and if you do it in order, you will do everything you need to do, and you will do awesome in this class, okay? A couple of my sticking points. So for each module, there's a begin here video or a begin here page. I recommend clicking that because I'll always have an introduction video to this week's assignments. I'll give you some background context on the information. If you watch that introduction video before you do your reading, you're going to understand your reading better. Okay, because I do my best. I read through the stuff that I have assigned you to read, and then I say, I determine the background knowledge that I think you should have that'll help you understand it better. So just watch the video. I'm going to do my best to always have a transcript typed up right below so that those of you who prefer to read along while I talk have that transcript, and that'll have all the information that's in the video, or if you can't play the video for some reason. So that's how the course works. So you need to follow that module. Always read the Begin Here page. Excuse me, and watch the video. Okay, couple other things to know about me. I do not give credit for late reading reflections, and I do not give credit for late discussion boards. And I'm serious, I don't. They come in late. I sit down to grade the other ones. Yours isn't there yet. You're gonna get a 0, and I won't change it. And my reason for that is because this course is a lot of work, and you have to keep up on it. So I want to give you incentive right away to do the reading when you're supposed to do the reading. If you skip a week of reading and you try to cram 2 or 3 weeks of reading into 1 week, it's too much, and you won't learn as much. So I say don't do it. Keep up on the reading. Keep up on the reading. So that feels really strict, but I find that students do better in the course when I do that, because right away they learn that I'm serious about it, and then they find a way to keep up on the reading. So, yep. And I don't allow any makeups for that. So, my advice is to work ahead as best as you can. So I'm writing this course as we go, so there's a limit into how far you can work ahead, but I will always be a week ahead of you in my course creation, so you can get a little bit ahead. And the reason I say that is because I know that life happens, right? You're gonna get sick, your kids are gonna get sick, you'll have family emergencies. I know that your lives are all really complicated, and I know that school is not the only thing in your life, right? So I totally grant that, I know that. So your best bet is to get ahead. On the weeks when your life is going well, put extra work into this class, because then once you get ahead, if you have a week where you're really dealing with something hard, then you don't have to worry about this course. Okay, so that's my advice to you. And then also communicate with me. Okay, if something's going on, let me know. You don't have to tell me what it is, but you can just say, hey, I know that I missed that last assignment. I just want you to know that I'm still taking, I'm going to get back to it, or whatever you want to say. The observation assignments and the paper assignments, I can give a little bit more wiggle room on in terms of extending due dates for that. But again, if you put off those observation assignments and the paper, the writing the paper, you'll have to write a paper and do like 3 observation assignments in the last couple weeks of class. It's going to be too hard. So do your best to keep up on stuff. Okay. Here's my list. I want to make sure I got everything. Okay, I literally wrote down more wiggle room, so that's, yep. Okay, so the last thing I want to say is that I know financial aid always comes in late and people don't have money for books. One, this book is pretty affordable compared to a regular textbook. The other thing is this is a bestseller. So what that means is that you can find it used online really, really easily and really cheaply, because they just made a ton of them. The other thing is that I will scan the introduction, which is the first reading assignment, and I will put that on Canvas. I'm going to make sure to do that tomorrow. And there are copies on hold, a copy on hold in the library, and there's actually, this copy right here is actually a library copy. I'm going to buy Skagit's going to buy me one tomorrow. I will return this to the library. So this is like available for checkout. So the one on reserve you can have for one night overnight, but this checkout, I don't know, they'll let you have it for a month or something. So first one at the library to get that will be happy. So, okay, that's it. Please email me if you have any questions, and I look forward to having you in class. Thank you.